Okay, so for this first problem, the reason it's called completing the square is because you're going to essentially create a square, an area. So what we want to do here is we want to make this x squared minus 4x, and we want to make this a square. So what I mean is we're going to add a certain number to this, and we're going to subtract that same number. And if some of you said, okay, this is going to equal 0, that is true. But again, the reason we're doing this is because we will eventually get the vertex form, which tells us the vertex. Okay? Okay, so the number we're going to add here is going to be this number. It's going to be negative b over 2a and then squared. But I want you to think about this. So if you guys remember how to factor, if I had x, in this case it would be minus something, times x minus something like this, then I would, let's just say that I had, in this case I had a, so this would be x times x, which is x squared, and then I would have minus a times x plus a squared. So just for now, you can humor me. And then in this case, this would be x squared minus 2ax plus a squared. So what I want you to realize is that we know that this is going to be what we call a square, where you're going to multiply the same thing times itself, right? You're going to have x, in this case, because this sign is a negative here, we know this is going to be minus, and then x minus something. It's going to be a specific number right there. So when you look at this equation, what you realize is that whatever number is there, double of that is going to be this number right here. Okay? So I'm going to say that again. So this number that I'm going to fill in, whatever this number is, it's always going to be double or half of this number right here. So negative 4 is double the value of the number that's going to go here. So what number is half of negative 4? What? 2. So because of that, I know that this is going to be negative 2, x minus negative 2 times x minus negative 2. And we're going to test this. We're going to test this theory. So we also know that this number is always going to be squared. We're going to add that number squared. So the reason why I knew to add 4 here, the reason I knew to add 4 is because I knew that this number is always going to be double. This number is always double of the number we're going to multiply, right? So half of this is negative 2. And then if I square it, then I know the number I'm going to add is, and I will do this for your sake, it's going to be negative 2 squared. So the number I'm going to subtract is negative 2 squared. So this is going to be x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 4 minus 7. And something I know is that because I'm creating a perfect square, I know that this is going to be equal to x minus 2 times x minus 2. And this I'm just going to combine to negative 11. And this is equal to x minus 2 squared minus 11. And again, if you're not comfortable with this, we're going to do this over the next coming days. So the reason why this form is so important is because this tells us our vertex. That's why it's called the vertex form. So you can easily just write this as our vertex is 2 comma negative 11. So let's try an example again. So let's just say, let me pull up the other question. Okay. So we're going to take this step at a time. So I know if you're uncomfortable with this, that's totally fine. This is something entirely new to us. So let's try this one. Y equals x squared plus 10x plus 1. So what I can do here is I know that this is going to be x plus a number here, x plus a number here. I know it's going to be y is equal to x squared plus 10x plus something, and then minus that same thing plus 1. Okay, so I want to think about this number right here, this 10x. So whatever number is going to be right here, that's going to multiply itself 2 times, is going to be half of 10x. So what is half of the number in front of x? What is half of 10? 5. So we know that this is going to be x plus 5 times x plus 5. This number that we're going to add here is going to be the 5 squared. So it's going to be 5 squared, and this is going to be 5 squared. Okay, so this 5 we know is half of 10, and we're going to always square it. So if I multiply this out, and I will show you, this would be x times x plus 5 times x plus 5 times x plus 25. This would equal x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25, x squared plus 10x plus 25. So one of the traits of perfect squares is that this number here will always be double of the number that you square, and it's always, this number is always going to be the squared, so 5 squared right here. So we know that this is going to transform to x plus 5 squared minus 25 plus 1, and this would equal x plus 5 squared minus 24. And we would know the vertex would be negative 5 comma negative 24. So the reason is, for this, even though this is plus, just as a reminder, whenever it's inside the parentheses, it's always going to be flipped, right? The x value is always flipped. So if this is negative, this will be positive. If this is positive, this will be negative.